Welcome to the Flex module collaboration. Today in this video we are going to see how to use the Flex module Flex collaboration function called the send and receive function to collaborate between two fieldwork projects on separate PCs. In any language documentation project, we will be having at least more than one person working on the same language documentation project. Hence, it is imperative that we learn how to collaborate with each of this fieldworks project file. Otherwise, when we import and export these data from one project file into another, what happens is that most of the data or most of the glosses are lost. So to avoid this problem, it is highly advised that you use send and receive function. For the send and receive function to work, we need a master file. A master file is going to be a file which has all the necessary settings set. So hence this file will become the authoritative file of the project. And if the same version of the project is in other computers, like earlier what we used to do is we used to give backups to the other people, and then they will start importing they will start restoring backup and then start working on that file. If there are such files, delete those projects first. So to do that, first we need an authoritative file, as you told you. So here is an authoritative Flex project that I created for this purpose called send and receive project. For this, what we are going to do is we are going to send this send and receive to another person. Now the send and receive works on a very simple cycle. All starts from one copy of the project. Someone sends it. So it all starts from the first copy of the project, authoritative copy. Someone sends it, others receive it, and all can then send and receive. So in simple terms, this is like this. The master sends the file for the first time. It is distributed to the receiver. The receiver receives the file for the first time through a special option on the Flex menu. We will see what is on the Flex welcome screen called the get project from a colleague option. Then the person edits it, and then he will use the send and receive option to send it out to the master again. The master, once the transfer is complete to the master will be using the send and receive option to receive it. Then he will receive, if there are more than one collaborators, he will receive all the files from the collaborators and merge it together with the master, and then will again send it out to the collaborators. Now this is the cycle of send and receive. Now we will see how to use this send and receive cycle. So in the Flex, you will have on the file menu, on the menu bar next to the file, you will have an option called send and receive. If you skip to the send and receive option, you will see that there is an option called send this project for the first time. When you are sending the project for the first time, you have to use this project to send it. Once you click this, these are certain, let us say, cautionary notes or something that appears on the send and receive option. The first cautionary notes is very clear. When you begin to share the data for the first time, the computer with the most authoritative copy must be the first to send and receive, and all other computers must have a project removed from the computer before proceeding. As I pointed out, if you are using the backup option, if you're giving the backup to your collaborator and asking your collaborator to work on the backup, then you should stop quitting that option now. You should stop quitting that process now, and then you should remove all the other files that were there in other computers. And now to do that, you have to go to file, project management, and delete this project. But before you delete the project, make sure you export all your data from your project file to the authoritative project file. There is some loss possible, but it won't be a greater loss. So if you have sentences, what happens is that some of the glosses in the sentences are lost. Similarly, there will be some conflicts and stuff like that when you import all this data. So the best practice when it comes to working with send and receive is, when working, it is recommended for each user to complete a send and receive before starting the day's work. So it is the best practice, so that you have the current data with you. And when ending the day's work, to share your new change with other users also. So users who work at the same time or who are making major changes to the database are encouraged to send and receive more often to prevent any conflicts. So as with any send receive process, there are recommendations about which areas to avoid editing at the same time. If you will be doing a bulk edit, please do a send receive immediately before and after, and ask other teammates to refrain from working while you are doing this. Try to avoid having two users work on the same interlinear text during the same send receive cycle. This includes text charts too. If two users are just lexical relations in the same entry in the same send receive cycle, the result may not be what you expect. Once you have done send receive with this project, you will not be able to restore a backup over it. So remember this very well. Once the send receive is done, you will not be able to restore a backup over it. So this has to be very clear. So if you have the master file, if your file is a master file, then go and say, okay, I have the master project. Then the Flex Bridge will open. The Flex Bridge is the thing that facilitates. So once this window appears, say send receive project window appears, you have a text box where you can label your cycles. So this is the first send cycle. So I'm just saying first send. And then you can see here there are three options: USB flash drive, internet, Chorus Hub. Over here we will be using the USB flash drive option. The USB flash drive path is splashed here. If it is not here, then your USB flash drive is not enabled. So once you have this, click the USB flash drive. Then it will automatically start syncing your data with the USB flash drive. You can see here that it is automatically writing the lexical data, morphological and syntactical data. Even though there is nothing in it, it just starts writing the data. Okay, and it finally created a new repository, and when it is done, you can see a tick mark and a done. You can see a tick mark and you can see a done here. Okay, now this is what it is. Now you close this. After you have done, your project is now ready to be sent. So let us just recap what we did in this first send thing. So someone sends it. The person who has the master copy, again I told you, the master copy is the project copy, which is the first copy, or is the copy which are merged together from the existing Flex files. Now the person with the master copy will go to the send receive option in the menu bar, and from there he will send the project for the first time. Now a repository, basically a project file will be created, can be created on an USB, or it can be sent over internet, or it can be sent over a Chorus Hub, which is basically a LAN. So for our purpose, we will only use a USB. I've already gone through it, what should be done if you have multiple projects already. Okay. Now to see it again, here you can see, go to send receive, click the send this project for the first time option. This send receive cautionary note sort of a thing will appear. Read it through and then say, okay, I have the new project. Now name your project, name the first cycle. This is optional, this is not compulsory, and then send it. So once when you start doing it, it will start syncing your data, and then you will have the tick sign and the done here. After that, close it. Now your file is ready to be sent to others. So once your project is ready to be sent and it is stored in the pen drive, now others are ready to receive it. To receive it, a collaborator, but there is others, use the get project from a colleague on the welcome dialog box of the welcome dialog box, or you can go and again go to send and receive, open a project, existing project, go to send and receive, get project from a colleague. But this is a one-off step. You need not repeat this step again and again. Once you have received the project, your Flex will be there already in the computer, right? So we are going to run the Flex now. Just a minute, sorry. So please wait for my computer to initialize. Yes, this is the welcome window. Over here you can see the get project from a colleague. Click on this. Your computer will automatically load the Flex Bridge again. And once the Flex Bridge is loaded, you will have this option again. So this is the same sort of a window, but over here you don't have the text box. Over there in the previous window, what we did is we sent the file. Now in this window, we are going to receive the file. To receive the file, I'm using again I told you I'm using the USB drive. So I'm going to click USB flash drive. Once the USB flash drive opens, it will ask me for what project it is. So this is a project that I'm just clicking. It is selected, and then I'm going to say copy to my computer. Once I do it, it is finished. Say OK. Voila, the project that I sent from the previous computer is now received in my computer. So this is very simple. This is one of the most simplest option to do send and receive. Again, I will go through this option once more in the slide. So for the first time, when you're receiving the project, you need to use the get project from colleague option. It is either available in the welcome window or in the send receive window like this. So if you see the send receive menu, you can see this get project from colleague. You can use this, or you can use the welcome window menu. So this is a one-off step. You need not repeat this again and again. So once you have done that, you are going to click this USB flash drive for the welcome screen, and then you're going to select your send and receive, and then you're going to say copy to computer. Once it is done, please say OK. Your new project will open. Now once you've received the project file, what you're going to do is you're going to edit the project file. So we are going to create a new entry on the project, say 1 and noun, and create. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this data to the previous master file. Now to do this, again I told you, once this is done, we will just use the send receive project option. That's it. Once you have sent it for the first time and received it for the first time, after that the work becomes very simple. The collaborator will use the send receive function here to send receive project. Do you see this? This is the first one that we will click. The send receive project for the first time won't work if it is a project that has been already sent for the first time. We will click on this to send the project. We'll click on this to send the project. It is that simple. So as I told you, we will just simply click on this send receive project to other Flex users. The Flex bridge will initialize. Once the Flex bridge initializes, so this is the collaborator's first send. C1, I'm going to call it first collaborator send. So collaborator C1 send, and then you can see here again the media USB listed here. Once the media USB is listed, you can go and click the USB flash drive option. It will automatically start syncing your Flex project file. So voila. So the job is again very simple. It's not difficult. So you can see here the done menu appears. Close this, and now so once the file has been received for the first time, the person who has received the file, basically the collaborator, will start making new entries into the file. He can make additions to the already available entries to it, and then all these additions and new entries can now be shared back to the master using a simple send receive option. The send receive option can be found at the same send receive project option, send receive and send receive project. Once you click on that, the send receive project will initialize, the Flex bridge will initialize, and you will have the same screen as the original, as the first send receive one. You can label it optionally. Once you press the USB, it will start looking for the USB's Flex data, and it will merge the available Flex data with the available Flex data in the USB with mine. You can see here that my data is merged with Karthik and Madhu, as you can see there. Now it is done. Just close it. It will automatically reopen with the merged Flex file. So as I told you, here it has opened back with the merged Flex file, and a conflict report window has also come out. If there was any conflict, it would have shown here what are the project modes and what are the conflicts that have come up and how it was resolved. Now it can be accessed by label, author and date, but there is no conflict, so we have closed it. You can see here I have two entries, 1 and 2, which are made by the other collaborator Madhu. So this is how it is simple for you to merge your Flex files together if there are more than one collaborator. Now this portion of where you merge is the end of the current Flex send receive cycle. Once you have merged your send receive files, once you have merged your collaborators with the master file, you can now go back to the cycle, and then we can start it again, all again. So once the master has finished merging all the files, the master now can send it back to the collaborators. Again, the collaborators will start editing, making new entries, and then they will transfer it to the master, and the master will merge and then continues.